Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be playing the coin flip game, or the penny game, depending upon what you want to call it. I'm very thankful that Aruna Chandrasekaran and Cognizant have allowed us to be at Cognizant and their Plano facility. And they've got great lighting, and we're so thankful to be here. Without further ado, let's get started with the game. So the penny game. There are 4 people, they're workers. They are seated at the table. 4 people that are managers. They're standing behind them with stopwatches or cell phones. We also have 1 person that is the scribe and 1 person that is the customer / the executive. But I'm going to combine, for the sake of this experiment, Jude, who is going to be doing both roles of the scribe and the executive. So set up. You have 20 coins. This starts with the first worker. Yep. If you could undo the coins for me, that'd be great. You could turn them all face up as well, or work on that while I'm finishing the.
Heads up?
Yeah, heads up. Correct.
So, be careful.
Set the flip chart.
So
the objective is to process the 20 coins through the system of workers as fast as possible. To be processed, a coin must be flipped, 1 at a time, by the workers, and with their left hand only. Anyone left-handers? Okay, so we got 1 advantage, that's fine. And then pass to the next worker in the chain who will do the same. Once the coins have been processed by all 4 workers, they are considered done with the round. Workers may only pass the coins once the full batch of coins is completed. And the batch size for this is going to change from all 20 to 10 to 5 to 1. And so the first round, of course, we're going to be starting with all 20 coins.
What do the managers do?
The managers? That's a good question.
Are we
I was just getting to that.
Yeah.
Question?
Yeah.
Yeah, the managers are actually going to be timing the people that they're behind.
Wow.
And so Jude is going to be the executive who's going to be timing from the first person to the end, from the first coin flipped to the last coin flipped, from down the line, the total time. So,
Okay.
Point of clarity.
Yes.
As long as the coins end up down there flipped, we're good?
Yes.
Okay.
But you have to flip them in 20s at first for the first round.
Okay.
So you cannot give the coins to the next person until you have 20 all completed.
20 coins.
Yes, so you have 20 coins in front of you. You cannot hand them to him until they are completed. You
All
cannot
of them.
start until he is finished.
So if we say his 20 heads up coins are completed, then he can pass them down.
Yes.
And then he's going tails up?
Yes.
Got it.
So we reverse it, right?
Yes, you reverse
There should be
it.
something that we're passing.
And this is not necessarily part of the game rules, but for a point of clarity, that's why I said start heads up. So that way it gives you the transparency that yes, you are actually done with your coin flips. So for the first batch of 20, get ready Aruna, get ready Jude, and we're going to start with Ashish?
Are you allowed to
Ashish. Sorry.
Are they allowed to be like this flipped, or do they have to be like that? Or does it not?
As long
matter?
as all 20 coins are flipped
Okay.
With the left hand.
with the left
Okay,
hand,
left hand only, okay.
then they can, after the batch is done, which the batch right now is 20,
Okay.
then they can be, after all 20, they can move to the next person.
And we just time our persons.
Yes, you time the individuals you are standing behind, and Jude starts at the first person to the last person, from the first penny to the last penny.
Last question, sorry.
Yes.
So my manager would start timing for me the moment I get all the coins, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's
Everything
correct.
has to be on my, oh,
The moment
Once the batch is shifted to you, then your time starts.
okay.
Alright.
So, yes.
I got the rows, what are the columns?
So after we get done with the first round,
Oh,
Jude, and after you get done hitting your timer, we'll go with each person and I'll ask their manager, what time did you have? And that time will be recorded here. And we'll eventually get to see how these batches affect things. So,
Bad side is affected, okay.
yes. So is everyone ready? All right. So managers, get ready to time your people. And 3, 2, 1, start.
What if he has a seizure?
That happens.
Yeah,
in,
what if it's half kind?
Positivity.
What about, no?
No, we're, inclusive, inclusivity.
All right, ready to go?
Yep.
Can I sit down?
Management, you gotta lead the way.
You gotta breathe on your neck.
Yeah, if you want to sit down, you can sit down, yes.
Management mindset.
As long as you make sure you have the time for the end, we'll be able to sit down.
Yeah, she'll look at his boss. Yeah, come on. There you
Wow.
go. All right, good job. Jesus,
I'm not moving anything.
Inspector.
Thank you, manager. Oh, man. Come on, come on, come on.
Next time it needs to be dimes.
Oh, they are lighter.
And a little thicker too. This one, I don't even have nails. I don't know how to flip them without actually.
Cool.
Really hard to kick too. Yeah. You see some conflict now. See some kind of conflict.
Maybe I should add some extra coins for him at the end.
Count cards too while you're
Sound
there.
theory over there, sound.
I play poker, guys. I play with my chips.
Nice.
Nice.
Good job.
All right,
Good
so.
management, good management.
Yes.
All right,
Now you're the right minute.
what was the first coin flip?
2772.
27 seconds. You do it right here. 27.72. And then go down to 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just round your seconds, unless it goes to minutes. But yeah, so just put 27 there actually, and bigger numbers.
Maybe it should be
All right,
20.
that's fine.
28, no?
Yeah, it should be 28.
20. Okay.
No,
Roll it
no,
up.
no.
No, no, 28.
Yeah.
So
Whatever. Well, then he's 26.
26. Okay, 26.
See,
We'll round down. We'll round down.
Ah, I think
All right.
32 is
Okay,
way
we'll
more
round
than
down.
31.
because that rounding makes them almost two.
Come on, what's else?
18.
18. Okay.
There you go.
Wow.
All right.
Competitive.
I know. I'm just having fun. I know it's about the bad sizes.
Before you got your second tag.
All right. So now we got a full team again.
Somebody's gonna do it, right?
And managers ready?
Yep.
We're ready. We're doing batch sizes of 10.
I'm watching.
We're doing batch sizes of 10. All right. Ready, set, go. All right. Stop. So.
Shouldn't we have done it blindfolded?
No. That's all.
It's like, considering
We
we
can't
did
give this
it not
time.
blindfolded.
In the sequel, we will do it in the sequel.
All right. So, Jamie, what was his time? It's a shish, right? Ashish. Okay. Put a slow syllable. 25 seconds.
We're just rounding, right?
All right. So,
25.
25.
24. Boom. She's awesome.
24 also.
Oh. All right. So, everyone ready to reset? All right. So,
To the left hand only?
yes, left hand only. Ashish can start. I I do not know what to do if you drop coins. That's not part of the activity.
Especially if
Slowing down your batch size.
What?
We did again?
Can we do it again?
That's self-organizing team.
Yeah, self-organized.
I'm fine with that.
Alright.
This is actually good. You can explain how rules can be broken sometimes if it's good for the team. Are you kidding? Oh my god, man. Oh, now the wife is doing it too. Oh my god.
Fired. I swear that.
You need to have like that one VP that comes around just flipping your coins for you, right? All right, what do we got, Jamie?
28.
28.
I didn't even drop the coin.
Yours is
Let's see
probably
yours.
like 40.
37.
Let's see yours after you drop the coin.
Quality was quantity. If you don't get the result you like, we just do it to you.
No one.
You get the result you like.
But the,
All
let's see.
right.
This is a good example. I'll tell you why. Because
It's
even
actually gonna
even
be
with 37, yeah, the total is still less because of the. Exactly.
And 52. All right, we're reset. You're flipping one penny and then passing it because our batch size is one.
Directly pass as you feel.
Jamie, everyone's ready? Managers? Ready, set, go.
I love Reese's Puffs.
Just don't start eating these pennies.
Don't drop it. 5-second rule.
It's okay. You did the bit, but I take it. Oh, you flipped it actually.
That one you
Going,
already got.
impeccable. Keep it going, Carl.
I see arms flowing in the wind.
Don't drop them.
Hi ho. Oh,
I had to do it. I'm part of the team.
It's like that one you used Kevin. They kept biting.
Hey, it wasn't you this
All
time.
right, Jamie, what do we have?
36. 40.
Can you make sure you get the,
40. Actually, that was almost
41.
41. Rounding down.
Normalization, you see? 45. It's normalized too, you see?
Yeah.
Continuously doing it. You know, we're spending so much, a little bit more time, but still it's value.
all right, so.
Even more or less if we didn't throw the coin.
I'm trying to keep
Wanna
you
be able
going.
to. Thank you. So we're just gonna do a retrospective here for the sake of time. So individual timings typically will increase while the time to get coins processed goes down, which gives the impression work is becoming less efficient, especially those at the end of the process. While the process itself becomes more efficient, discussion around bottlenecks and cross-functionality, etc. will typically be instigated. What would you ask to your teams after this? Like, what would be good questions to ask after this game?
Well, what was the point of left hand only?
That's a good question.
And if there was left hand versus right, or just why just one versus both?
I think you're supposed to do it with your offhand because you might have some advantage to your
Yeah.
on-hand, but I don't know, I'm not the creator of the
Yeah.
game, that's just the instructions that I,
Yeah.
reasons why.
That's a
But,
good question though.
Yeah.
But again, I think you are talking about how to train the team to get the advantage of this, right? The essence of this game. The questions are directed towards that, I guess. So I would ask, how do you feel about the increased time for the same flipping that you're doing, right? That's what you just mentioned about how they feel like it's taking more time. And then the next question would be, how do you feel about the overall time, the minutes?
okay.
Because in the end, the work is together getting them faster, even though the individual time seems to be increasing because the time is normalizing. If you notice in the first one, different times. In the second one, the time increases for me because I'm literally waiting, but in the end, since the work started across the streams parallelly, the time is reduced to half, just by reducing the batch size to half. The overall time, that's the goal, right? So
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
finish the entire product across all the
So,
The smaller batch sizes decreases variability, right, of your output. So you become more predictable as you use smaller batch sizes. Is
Yeah.
probably the lesson. So-
and if I heard him correct, like some of your individual times, I don't know, got worse, if you want to call it that, but overall we still stayed the same.
Yeah.
So, and how does the group properly reflect that? And I mean, I guess some of this is, we're sitting here learning, if this was my team, how do I make sure they understand that and it's not like competitive or, you know?
Well, it's kind of a waterfall thing, right? In a waterfall, say he's designed, he's holding up, they're sitting idle,
Yeah,
right? So if you have a bottleneck, then part of your team
Yeah.
can't move forward, so
Yeah.
they're kind of sitting there
So,
idle,
yeah.
which is
But, like,
uncomfortable. and
she
wasteful.
jumped in and she was like, just, you know, you get into that, again, I mean, I'm still pretty new, so I'm just wondering, like, how are you fostering that kind of stuff? Because some of it's natural, some of it's just gotta be motivated, or they've had somebody else do it, but then there's also, well, am I allowed to do that? Because unfortunately, my mind thinks that too, am I allowed to pick it up?
We're kind of to the Scrum values, trust,
Well,
courage,
and that's
those kinds of
where
things, and you build
Here's
these
the
team
game we're
norms.
playing, and here's the, I don't know, the rules, but here's what it was.
Yeah.
There was no addressing that, just like when you said, okay, you can, well, use specific language so we all know that what's specifically gonna be
Actually,
done.
he, when you talk about language, he actually introduced some Scrum, how it can be employed in Scrum, right? For example, when he's doing design, and let's say you're actually writing requirements or wireframes based on the design, and you're actually developing, let's say, and I'm testing, right? So in the conventional waterfall, even people who follow Scrum, they're still doing mini waterfall when actually, for example, if your mind is still thinking that you have to finish the entire page, design before you start writing requirements or something and wireframes, and then you have to finish the entire page requirement before you start developing. That's the batch size of 20. But when you, and then I have to wait for all you guys to be done, and then I have to start. That, you know, that's the overall time is increased.
Yeah, I think it's easy to look at it and go, this is a microcosm of waterfall.
Yeah.
But I just go back to, you had an 18-second time to think that an individual contributor, an individual effort, that focusing on the individual's contribution rather than the team's contribution is
Exactly.
a frequent.
That's-
we as managers
Exactly.
look at individuals and go,
Yeah.
let's reward this behavior, efficiency.
Yeah.
Maybe we should be
Good
rewarding
point.
the behavior of sharing the knowledge and figuring out how we can all benefit from
Exactly.
it.
We have to focus on
I'm
that
not
entire
looking at
time.
the waterfall thing, I'm looking at the teamwork thing. more
Yeah,
than
yeah.
anything.
For me, I thought it was very interesting, and that's why I loved that you dropped the coin actually, because as a human,
I want to
as
discuss
humans,
about that.
we dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And like, it's not that like you dropped the coin necessarily, but like, we have to react to that, and sometimes that does affect our times and things.
That is a good
And
team
so-
management thing too.
Well, it's also that he was flipping one coin and he dropped the one coin. Had he been trying to flip 10 coins,
You have
and
to
he dropped
wait.
all the 10 coins, there's
Yeah.
more work to be
Exactly.
corrected to.
That's
So
right.
part of the
Yeah,
smaller
yeah.
batch sizes, there's less.
The error
cost
is
of-
Yeah,
minimized
Cost
to-
of fixing a mistake is also lower, right?
Yeah.
Excellent point.
What?
What's up, Renee?
I would ask the question, how did you feel having to do the exact same thing and not deviate from the instructions when you think you could do it better? How important is following those instructions exactly? Because sometimes if you're manufacturing something, you think, oh, I want to do it faster because you're going to be competitive. I don't want my numbers to be bad. Let me not do it this way because I can make it better. But
You don't want to do that.
you might make it wrong, and the next
Yeah.
person down the line may have a defective product because
Yeah.
you deviated from the directions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how important are the directions and sticking directly to it?
Process
It goes back to your Daniel's left hand point, like why left hand? Maybe that's the reason why. I'm not sure.
You know, but another thing to be said, I'm sorry, go ahead, go
Well,
ahead.
no, I mean, and some of this is just kind of overall, like, it's nothing like questioning you or something, it's just pondering the exercise as a whole and how it applies to.
Again, I don't take these personally.
Yeah,
It is
yeah, yeah.
like I didn't make these exercises. I think they're all great questions. So
I like your point about failing fast, and I have to put it in the I mean, basically because of the individual flip, right? The failure was identified right away instead of waiting for the entire batch and fail fast scenario, and then that didn't slow down the actual process because you're still going on with other points.
what's up?
Yeah, the only other thing I wanted to say was, there is something to be said about not switching context. Which is why when you have 20 coins to flip, and you're just flipping 20 coins without having to shift it to, you're in a cadence, you're in a rhythm, and you're doing it fast. You're slower at one coin because you're switching context continuously. You've got to move it, you've got to get the next coin, you've got to coordinate eye and hand. You're switching context, that's why you're slower. So this
But overall-
exercise can be used for both kinds of lessons.
Yes.
You're not slower, to me, if I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, but because he got 41 seconds with one penny and 18 with 20, that doesn't mean he was slower. It means he was busier a greater percentage of the time. He was
Waiting for the
busy
coin,
41
waiting,
seconds
waiting,
out of
waiting,
45.
Waiting for each coin, right?
Here, he was busy 18 seconds out of 108
Yes, I
seconds.
agree.
Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't mean he was slow or anything.
Right,
Yeah.
yes. If I was looking at it from a batch size and, yes, for that lesson, yes. But I'm just saying, if you were to teach as a coach, you also teach about context switching, right?
Mhm.
And when you teach about having a rhythm and a cadence and being in a context long enough to get it done. Outside of the lesson this penny game is supposed to teach you, I just had a realization that looking at, if I didn't look at the overall throughput here,
Right.
overall, right? And if I just had to teach a lesson about context switching in general, I would say that when you switch context, you're overall slower. Regardless, let's forget about the fact that you're trying to do batch sizes.
Okay.
My argument is that when we teach about keeping work in progress, controlling it, not switching context, not having too many distractions, having time to focus and getting something done, you're faster than if you're switching context. In
As a
that
team.
context, I just saw, as an individual also, you're just seeing the numbers. Forget about the point of this game. This game is meant to talk about small
It's not meant to
sizes.
talk about what you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
but exactly, it's not meant to, but I
But
just had
also,
this.
just one point, right? For example,
Danielle had a question.
the best way to explain his point for the 41 is basically, for
Yes.
example, in that time, right? If you watch the video, right, in between the three, you will observe one important thing. Most of the time I'm spending as I'm progressing is I'm waiting. Because each time you're just not flipping coins, but every time you're flipping the coin, you're passing. So the process is actually longer than just flipping the coin. So the overall time is increasing for all of you, which means the time on waiting between coins, I'm just flipping and I'm waiting. Because of the actual time you're taking for each coin. That's the reason why it's 41.
And that's
Explain
where
that.
what I was gonna kind of say, like, retrospective, what could we have done better? And I mean, one thing that stuck out is that you could have maybe been put here, because you could turn them out faster, and
That's about changing the rules and everything that she already mentioned. Yeah, that changes the team dynamics.
Yeah, but
So,
what
George,
else was,
sorry.
I mean.
Sorry, George.
If we're not measuring the right thing though, I'm gonna hire 4 U's, because you're doing it in
If
18
it's
seconds.
if it's coin flipping,
That was my takeaway.
if it's coin
was
flipping,
like,
but sometimes
Which one are you measuring? Yeah.
But you
if I'm
probably
looking at the
better
wrong
something else.
KPI or the wrong measurement, right? And I just want to reward based on individual contribution. I would hire 4 views. My manager would come and go, I want the guy that does 18 seconds. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas no, I want the guy that does 40. We all do it in 45 because he's working with the entire team. It's measuring the teamwork rather than.
Yeah, what
You know,
are you
and I think
measuring,
that's
right?
really. I don't know. That really hit me.
His point was great, because I think when you're trying to look at your system overall flow, two of the biggest sources of slowing that flow down are wait time, him waiting on the pennies, and queues, right? If there's a backlog of work, that queuing, so you really want to identify
Yeah.
that too.
The best way to explain is, for example, if you look at the individual times at the top, that time is going to remain the same all the time because you're going to still take 27 seconds for 20 coins. But the reason why your time on an average is increasing is because instead of flipping after 10, you're doing the transition every time. So you're adding more time to our overall process because you're transitioning every time. But people think that is a bad thing, but that's actually a good thing because when you do that, at least you're letting the other person start their work while you're working. Instead of no, don't disturb me. That's not a team mentality. Because of that, even your time increases because again so overall the times increase, but the process time has been consolidated and normalized. That's the point.
Some people that are playing our game might be looking for different positions, and I would hope that anyone watching this video will take the time to see if they might need some of these people on their team. Their LinkedIns will be in the description below. As always, also make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with other Agile teams.